Morning. I don't think I've done a conscious coffee this early for quite some time. Matter of fact, I know I haven't. It's been quite some time since I've actually done morning conscious coffee. Every time I do it in the morning, I always think, how did I do this at 6 a.m. for like a year straight? Because I'm just not in the mood to do live stream at 6 a.m. these days. And I haven't been for quite some time. But that's just called going with the flow, right? I do have my coffee, second cup. I did do all my other morning stuff already. So here I am. Today is my day off, you could say. Find great value in taking just a day where I'm not doing a massive amount of client work or, share work and just getting messaging out there. And yet here I am still focused on doing a live stream this morning and getting an article out in just a little bit. And then kicking it into the day and just really, truly having an awesome, amazing day. And I was sitting back here, and I've been up since 6 o'clock. My alarm went off. I bounced out of bed. And the house was quiet, and the wind is blowing. And, I heard some little murmuring going on in my backyard. And there's a teenager in the backyard talking on the phone at 6 a.m. I was like, what the heck is going on in my house right now? Like, teenagers don't get up at 6 a.m. But she was out here talking on the phone. And I wandered around for a little bit and did my morning meditation and all that good stuff. Because it was just like, what am I going to talk about today? What am I going to talk about? And I could not come up with anything that I wanted to talk about, to the point that I almost went, yeah, maybe I'm just not live streaming today. That's okay. I don't have to live stream today. And then I was scrolling through, and all I see is all these conversations around COVID and masks, to wear a mask, not to wear a mask, all this kind of stuff. Science on both sides, opinions on both sides, fear on both sides, the tear down of each side, all this, both sides saying you're stupid, you're an idiot, you're this, you're that, it's bad for this, it's bad for that. And I'm not making this a COVID or a mask to wear or not to wear conversation by any means. That's the last thing I actually want to venture down the path with today. But as I was sitting there reading through different stuff, because that's all that was coming up on the feed, right? And I'm just kind of lost as to what am I going to talk about. I started to just think about how critical we are. And then I had some dropbacks to some thoughts of yesterday and conversations of yesterday about, people, spectatorship, really, truly just being that spectator. You could call it also just being a witness, but there are a lot of people that are spectators in life. There are even more people that are critics in life, right? Like, we all are critics. We have to be real here. And then there are the people that are out there, and they are the doers, the action takers. And are they critical? Yeah, they're critical as well, because we're all critical. We all have moments of being spectators, but we don't all have moments of being doers. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. Doers. And, what does that mean? What's the difference? Why is it important to be a doer? How does this impact your goals? And I was just sitting here, I was having lots of business conversations yesterday with different people that have different businesses that they're doing and their goals that they're wanting to accomplish. And they're telling me, oh yeah, I've been wanting to do this for the last 10 years. I've been wanting to do this for the last 3 years. I've been wanting to and about all different subject areas of life. And they're telling me what they want and how they want to do it. But nowhere in there are they actually taking action to do it. These same people that are just being the spectators of life, woo-wee, do they ever have some opinions. Talk about some opinionated folk. Like, whoa, that is just, wow. And deep passion and concern to make sure that you know their opinion, but not only know, try to mold you into the belief structure of their opinion while they're sitting there and being the spectator on life, on your life, on my life, on everybody's life, on the world, on everything, right? And they're just sitting there and they're not doing anything other than spewing out their opinions based on what? Certainly not doing Certainly not doing. It's kind of like, and this is how I look at spectators versus doers. I look at it very, very simply. As a mother of 7, I always bring everything back to childbirth because I think that it's a valuable lesson in life, and any woman who has ever given birth to a child, I think, would agree. Spectators are kind of like a man who has never even been through the birthing process, but somehow thinks that he understands the birthing process to a T. That he understands the pain, he understands the emotion, he understands all the process, he understands what the body's going through. And yes, he's read a book here and there. He's seen it on some series, and he watched a woman on, whatever the show is that he's been watching, in a Hollywood studio, have a fake delivery. So he thinks that he knows what that labor process is like, what giving birth is like, what being pregnant is like. So he goes to tell the woman, that's this random woman that's just had birth, oh, I get exactly where you're at, and da-da-da-da-da, but this is what you should have done, and this is how you need to do it, and this is da-da-da-da-da-da, and telling all how he believes it should be done. But he's never done it. Or the woman who's had the child, who's pushed the baby out of her vagina, who has had to do the deep breathing, who's, dealt with the doctors and the nurses in the midst of things, who's had the crisis moments happen in the middle of their labor, who's had the emotion, the fear of, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. I don't think I can do this. Wanted to back out mid-push. Terrified for her life, terrified for her child, terrified that she's not good enough, terrified that it's going to be too much in her system, terrified for all these different things, and at the same time, all excited and feeling in love with the child as it comes out. But the spectator man over here, no, he's the one who's right? She should listen to him. Maybe she should take his advice the next time she has a child. Maybe she should think about all the things that she should have done, because this spectator man, he knows because he's got the criticism for it. Yes, he's thought this through. He's read the books. He's watched a couple series. He's done this. He's done that. Yeah. He's not out there doing it, though. Sorry, but if you didn't do it, then shut up about it. I love these people who, anytime you get into any leadership position in this world, no matter how small or big it is, our haters out there definitely love to hate. And you know what I love about haters? Haters aren't doers. Haters are not doers, because the people are blowing and going and doing don't have time to hate on other people. They don't really truly even care what other people are doing, because the ones who are doing, the ones who are thriving, the ones who are building a business, the ones who are enjoying life, the ones who have the dynamic relationships, the beautiful family connections, are building, their wealth, their health, their relationships, and they are truly thriving. Guess what we don't have time for? Sitting around and listening to people who aren't doing, or trying to argue with somebody to make them believe something. Because at the end of the day, in my opinion, and I know for a lot of other people in different leadership roles, coaches, mentors, even the politicians out there, and people who are, game changers in the world, the visionaries through all time, do people listen to, like those leadership roles, do they listen to what people have to say? Absolutely. The witnessing aspect is there. People watching is there. But do we really take it in and go, oh, I need to shift this way and this way and this way to try to please everybody? That's not a leader. That's not a person that is awake and aware. That's not a person that is conscious of themselves. That's not a person that is self-loving at all, therefore loving of community and the world. Because if we're constantly wavering, then that means that we're not doing. We're spending a lot of time analyzing and worrying about what everybody else thinks of us versus getting the shit done. And actions speak louder than words. It's definitely been the message throughout my whole week. I think I have had that statement come to me so many times, that actions speak louder than words. last week I made a couple posts that definitely went freaking crazy. People arguing with me and calling me names and sending me hate mail and, all this screaming at me, telling me to shut up, telling me that I'm a bad citizen, telling me that what have you done for anybody? And if I was a weak soul, I didn't have a backbone to things, if I didn't really truly know what I do in this world and work with amazing people every single day, that would destroy me. And I was thinking, I was like, this is what happens in high school. This is why our teenagers commit suicide, because of this shaming, because of this kind of ridicule, this kind of putrid hatred that comes toward them. And it's over, in high school, it's because somebody isn't doing little things or is too pretty or wore this or wore that and all that kind of stuff. And for us adults, it's because, well, God forbid you have an opinion. Oh my God, it's not like mine. I'm going to condemn you. I'm going to shame you. I'm going to shut you up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you should listen to me because I know, and I see that you're living, and I know that you're doing, and I see all that stuff. And I'm actually really fucking jealous that you're still managing to live, that you're building, that you're healthy, that you're happy in the midst of all this chaos. How the fuck can you be happy and connected and thriving and still doing those things? How can your business be booming right now? How can you have so much love and connection in your relationships? How can you be traveling and enjoying and posting joyous, connective, fun pictures? Well, Kendal, didn't you know that you flipped your E and I in the word there? Didn't you know that you used the wrong your? Well, I can't respect you because you didn't use the right your there. I can't respect you because you got purple in your hair. I can't respect you because you have kids from a couple different men. I can't respect you because you're not married. I can't respect you. I can't follow you because you think differently on this political topic than what I do. So I'm going to delete you. But let me tell you that I'm going to delete you first. Let me make this great big comment about this. You should listen. You should get an editor. You should do this. You should do that. Do you see? But what are these people doing? Are they doing? That's what's the question. Are they truly doing? I bring this topic to you because it's quite laughable, in my opinion, how critical we can be when we're sitting around hating our life. And to think that we should try to mandate somebody else's actions, thoughts, opinions, and that if they have an opinion that isn't like ours, that they should shut up. Where in there is freedom of speech? Where in there is the free country that we are supposedly going to be living in if we get so frustrated with each other that we have differences of views, or that we get so mad at somebody for a typo that we have to constantly throw stones because, they're living and I'm not. They're doing and I'm not. They're healthy and I'm not. They're happy and I'm not. So I should throw stones at them. I should throw stones at them. I should condemn them. I should shame them. Shame them into suffering with me. And here's the reality, because there's so many people out there that don't have strong backbones, that don't deal with this stuff every single day. And this is nothing new in my world. Like, I'm one of those people that deal with controversial topics all the time. I say a lot of things. I use the F word a lot. I talk about sex. I talk about orgasm. I'm out there. I'm bold about different things. And I really seriously don't give a fuck what anybody thinks of me. If you don't like me, you can delete me. That's what the unfriend button is for. I can even show anybody where it's at. If you don't want to follow me on anything, if you don't want to work with me, fine, great. You're not my tribe. And that's great. Thank you for telling me on the friend side. And if you want to hate, that's fine, because that's been a thing forever. Anybody who's actually making changes out there, that's actually stepping up and doing things for other people, well, we get a lot of hatred. We do. Talent gets a lot of hatred. Intelligence gets a lot of hatred. Openness gets a lot of hatred. Love gets a lot of hatred. Being unconditional with people gets a lot of hatred. But I can tell you this, and this is what I encourage you to look at if you are one of those critics or spectators out there, or if you were a doer on the front side and you're just learning, you're stepping on this path of doing and taking action and stepping out into the controversial world, or if you're a doer that's been at it and you know what, you're having a tough day because you're just kind of wanting to quit and you just don't know what to do with yourself because the hatred's so intense and the criticism's so intense and the shaming's so intense, and it's got you questioning your worth, it's got you questioning your message. Remember this. No matter how sick you ever get, you can never get sick enough to make the sick healthy. No matter how much money you give away, no matter how broke you can become, if you have money and you make yourself broke, you can never be broke enough to make all the broke people out there wealthy. No matter how unhappy you make your relationship, your life, you're never going to be able to be unhappy enough to make all the other unhappy people happy. No matter how much you take your beauty away, your worthiness away, you're never going to be able to be ugly enough, unhealthy enough, have the lowest amount of self-esteem to be able to give all that to somebody else, to make them more beautiful, feel more confident, feel more worthy, more valued. None of us can take away from ourselves to that level or to any level enough to fix another human being in their health, their wealth, their looks, or anything else. We can't do it because we're not supposed to do it. It's not our work to fix somebody else. Our work is to learn to love ourselves. Our work is to be the healthiest person that we can be. Our work is to be the most vibrant, thriving person that we can be. Our work is to be the most confident and to know our worth and to lead, because actions speak louder than words. And when we are living, when we are thriving, when we are growing, when we are ignited, and we are showing that you can be happy in a time of crisis, you can be abundant in a time of chaos, you can be healthy in a time of an epidemic, you can be fearless for the most part in a time when the world is scattered and fearful, that we lead. And then that leadership, there is zero time to hate and argue and go back and try to make those that are so low vibe, because they're so disappointed with their lives and so out of their soul alignment and out of alignment with God, to fix them. You can't. What you can do is you can address it as though, I see that you're a spectator, I see that you are a critic, and that's okay, I can love you still. Doesn't mean that I have to take my energy, my time, my anything to give to you, to respond to you, to argue with you, because arguing is pretty fucking negative. Especially when you're not getting anywhere, when you have one side that refuses to actually listen. So as an unconditional lover, if you're out there, an unconditional supporter of life and our fellow human beings, stick to you. Stick to you. That's how you support your fellow human beings, by making you a better you. You support your fellow human beings, this world, health status of the world, abundance status of the world. You make the world a better you by being vibrant, by being abundant, by being happy, by being the fucking light. That's how you do it. Lead. Lead with the light, not with the darkness of fear and criticism and control, which is judgment. So, all right. That's my great message of today. I felt compelled to write on. Definitely seemed to be a message that, from as I was looking around, just like, there's so much. I see so many family members hating on each other and all this stuff of, just, I see a lot of shut up, shut your pie hole, shut your mask hole, shut this, shut that, all this stuff going around, and it's just so, ugh. And everybody mad at everybody. So I do encourage you to check yourself, check your judgment level, and realize that if you are one of those that are spewing out those negative comments, then you better look within, because there's something off in you if you got the time to sit around and critique and judge every single person and get pissed off at them for having their views, having their opinions. Check your definition of freedom. Check your definition of happiness. How does that make you feel to be spewing out all that hatred? Probably doesn't feel too good. It doesn't feel good when I'm spewing out hatred, when I'm spewing out angry and jealous and judgmental thoughts all the time. It just doesn't vibe with abundance and joy. So I encourage you to lean into love, into your hearts, and support your fellow humans, their opinions, whether you agree or not. And in this time, the most mature thing that we can do is agree to disagree on a lot of different things, because we're different human beings with different lives, different backgrounds, and different views, different traumas, and different goals. And we're going to have difference of opinion. On that note, just so all of you guys know, it was interesting yesterday, totally on topic, off topic, but yesterday a friend of mine sent me a video from a local doctor here in Texas. I need to probably reshare it somewhere along the line, but maybe you guys can look at it. She's some doctor here, and she was talking about the COVID cases, and even in the state of Texas, because we're one of the states that I guess is, that's, one of the bad states. Us in Florida, shut that shit down. Texas is overthrown because we opened up earlier than a lot of other states, and we allowed, movie theaters and restaurants and all that kind of stuff. So our practices came down. Well, number one, as she made it clear, we just have more testing going on. So of course there's going to be more positive COVID results. But as she stated very, very clearly and supported with recent facts from the CDC, I also kind of see bouncing around, is that the death toll for COVID is almost so low that the CDC can't call it an epidemic anymore. So think about that one. Just think about that. I'm going to leave my views off on everything, but I want you to go to the CDC, look at what they're saying about that. There are some beautiful articles coming out announcing this, that the death tolls for COVID across the board are so low that it may not be able to be considered an epidemic anymore. So, there you go. There's local news by Kendal, and it's got everybody caught up on everything else. So let's start questioning our judgment levels instead of questioning everybody else's opinions and trying to change them, because that's not where you're going to get thriving. That's not how you make a fuck yes life. That's not how you find your joy. That's not how abundant or thriving thinking. That's all scarcity and fear. And if you're living in scarcity and fear, then you'd best expect more scarcity and fear to come your way. Local people, if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you will see a link in the comment section for the events page. We have some amazing workshops coming up. We are keeping them smaller scale, but we have our summer orgasm camp coming up. We have our oral intimacies camp coming up. We have sex magic coming up. We've got some pujas coming up. We've got the quantum integration coming up, the little magic show coming up. I think that's at the end of August. July and August, our workshop happen in months. And a lot of these workshops are already at least 50% sold out or more, so there's only very limited space. So it's really, if you want to come, don't think that you can wait till the very last minute, because you can't. Right now we are watching the numbers. We're not doing at the door on any of these things because the numbers are filling up quickly. So grab those seats. If you are interested in any of those workshops, click on the events link. Feel free to move through that kind of stuff. And of course, if you ever want any guidance on how to live an abundant, thriving life in all subject areas of your life. If you want to learn how to overcome that stinking thinking, that scarcity thinking, and transform your mind, your heart, and your physical life into what I call the fuck yes life, reach out to me for I can't talk all of a sudden. Reach out to me for information on one-on-one coaching or group coaching that can help you thrive for the rest of your days. All right, everybody. I love you guys. I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. And remember, stop existing, start living, and watch the critical eye, because it's not serving you or your fellow human beings. I love you guys. Catch you tomorrow.